Hello, math class. Welcome back. In this video, you need memory piece number 37. We are going to be looking at histograms here. So I'm going to go ahead and call this page histogram. And to do this example, I went online, I believe, and found a histogram already made. And I'm going to tell you a story about this histogram. And that's what I left the space at the top for you to draw with me. Okay. So what we're looking at here, let me zoom in on the graph itself for just a minute. On the y-axis, we're looking at frequency. And on the x-axis, we are looking at years. Okay? So let me go ahead and label this. We really need a label down here. These are years and frequency. So this graph is showing me something about the years 2010 through 2016 and the frequency of something happening in those years. Okay? So I'm just making up a story. These numbers are not real numbers. I'm just pulling this out of thin air. But I want to help you understand what's going on here. I'm going to give you the main idea. And again, these are not actual data. I'm just making this up. High sets in Tennessee. So let's see what changes when I give you that little bit of information. So what this is telling me is that in the year 2010 to 2011, so in that interval, 400 students in Tennessee got a high set. From the year 2011 to 2012, so in those 12 months, 390 students got a high set in Tennessee. And in the 12 months from 2012 to 2013, 800 students got a high set in Tennessee. You get the idea. Notice that these bars are touching. That is a clue, a sign that you're looking at a histogram. Bar graphs, the bars do not touch. Bar graphs are slightly different. So what I want us to do to start with is to make a frequency table to match this histogram. So I'm going to draw. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intervals. Now be careful here. Let me show you what I'm doing. I'm not counting the years because that would be 7. How many bars do you see? 6. Because we're not graphing years as we would in a bar graph. We're graphing intervals. The period between 2010 and 2011. That is a 12-month interval that we're looking at. Your intervals will always be equally spaced. So each of those bars represents 12 months. So be careful when you go to read this. So here's what we're going to do for the frequency table. First thing I want to do is draw the table. And I'm going to put a header row. And then 6 rows to match my 6 bars. Okay. And I've always got an extra one. As long as you guys have been doing math with me, have we ever have I ever been able to draw one without an extra. Okay, so we're going to divide off this into 2 columns, as frequency tables will have. And then I'm going to call this one the interval, and this one the frequency. So the first interval we're looking at is 2010 to 2011. That's 12 months, and there were 400 students with high sets. Then 2011 to 2012, there were 390 students with a high set. And then 2012 to 2013, there were 800 students with a high set. I am a data analyst. That's part of my job duties. So if I were doing this kind of analysis, I would want to know what changed in 2012. What happened from January 2012 to 2013 that caused this increase? That's what data analysis is about. Okay, so 2013 to 2014, I would want to know what happened here too, because there was a sharp decline in that from that interval to the next. Maybe this is when free vouchers came out. Maybe there was a lot of unemployment in Tennessee during that year, and people were working on their diplomas. But those are the kinds of questions that this graph would make me think about. So in 2015, in this 12-month period, things improved. We went to 700. And then look what happened in 2015 to 2016. I would be trying to figure out what caused this to happen, and I would want to repeat that. I would want to keep that going, because you see in these last 3, it's trending upward, and that's a good thing in this particular graph. We want more people to get their diplomas, so you see that it was trending upward in those last 3 years. And actually, guys, I should have said that this is high sets in Tennessee in one district. One district could really pull these types of numbers, not the whole state. The whole state is up in the thousands. So let's add that. So in one district in the state of Tennessee, this is our high set totals for that period of years. So they may give you a frequency table and ask you to draw the histogram. That is not unheard of. So you may get this thing and be asked to draw. They may ask you questions. Let me give you some examples. You can write these in. How many students earned high sets during this entire period? What's the clue word, the key word in there? Whoops, I didn't mean to erase it. I meant to highlight it. Entire. So what is that telling me to do? Add them up. 400 plus 390 plus 800 plus 590 plus 700 plus 980. Make sure you account for them all. And I've lost my calculator. This is not a good time to lose the calculator. You see why you need to be proficient with your calculator. I got 3860, and I wish you could talk to me to confirm that. I'm going to do it one more time because I want to do more with this data. So check your work. Remember, that's part of the roses process. You always need to examine your work, and I got it again, so I'll go with that. So here's one question they could ask. Here's another one. What is the mean for the 6-year period? Or let's just say the entire period. Well, we're almost there. We've already done the adding, so we don't have to do that again. 3860 divided by 6 bars. So 3860 divided by 6 is 643.3 repeating. So I'm just going to leave it there. And you say, well, none of those bars is at 643. And that's true. But remember, a mean is not necessarily one of the bars. It's just the average. Some bars are higher, some bars are lower, but the average is about 643. So in any given year, I could expect about 643 high sets in this district. Okay, let's do the median. Remember, with median, you have to do what? Put them in order. You can look at your numbers or you can look at your bars. Go from the smallest bar, the shortest bar, to the tallest bar. I'm just going to use my frequency table since I've got it already here. So I have 390, 400, 590, 700, 800, and 980. So the middle is right in here. We need to do a little work on this one. It is somewhere between those two values. So here's what you do. 590 plus 700 divided by 2, because there are 2 numbers in that box. So 590 plus 700 is 1290. And 1290 divided by 2 is 645. So the median is 645. The mean was 643. The total was this big number. You know what I'm going to ask you next, I bet. What is the mode? Now be careful. The mode is not the biggest one. The mode is the one that you see the most. So let's look at our bars this time. Are any of your bars the same height? No. So there is no mode. To have a mode, you have to have bars that are exactly the same height. So on this one, no mode. Okay. What is the range? This one, it helps to look at the bars also. Find the tallest bar, which is 980, and the smallest bar, which is 390, and subtract those. Subtract the tallest and the shortest and you'll have your range. This is a pretty big range. As a data analyst, I'm wondering why that range is so big. Why is there so much variance from year to year in these diplomas? What is happening in our adult ed program that causes those fluctuations? Okay, one thought. Can you imagine what the histogram would look like since COVID has happened? If we were looking at a histogram of before COVID and after COVID, wouldn't that be interesting to find out what happened to our high sets during the COVID pandemic? I would really like to see that one. Okay, guys, that's how to do a histogram, how to read a histogram. And in the next video, I'll be showing you my very favorite one. I learned it as a box and whisker plot, but this book just calls it a box plot. But it's my favorite, so I'm anxious to share that one with you too. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.